Hi, Ayron.
Hi, how are you?
Second date within a week. On the
Oh,
third,
I
you
know, man.
gotta.
You know what time it is. Listen, you know what time it is on number three.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
right.
know what time it is on number three. I'm so glad it worked out again. I promise
Yeah, it's
I
good to
don't
be
have the
here.
same questions, so
Oh, it's okay,
that
man.
would be kind of
I'll
awkward.
try to formulate some good enough answers. We'll see how we go here. I haven't smoked yet, but I'm looking at it right here, huh? Hey,
Ah, sweet.
after the interview.
Light it up. I mean, you could.
I'm like, yeah, weed.
Sweet.
I told Roxanne before we got on the call, it's like, I just told her, I was like, every time you ask me a question from now, Roxanne, I'm just going to be like, weed.
Oh
Marijuana.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, sweet. I mean, last week it was less than 2 weeks until the record's out, and
Yeah.
now it's in 2 days.
Yes, it is. It sure is. It's pretty crazy.
2 days. How are you
See,
feeling?
oh, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. What's embarrassing is I'll be by myself and it'll hit me in waves and I'll be like, I'm doing it. But by myself, like there's nobody around. I'm just like in my car or something. I'm just like, what's happening? And a single tear comes. I turn to look at the guy in the car next to me. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, so yeah, I feel good though, man. I keep, man, there's still stuff to do. I wanna kind of kick my feet up and relax, but I know I still got a little more things to tie up before it drops. And I think we're coming in at number three here in the States on the charts. And it's looking like there's a good shot at number one in the next couple of weeks too. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
I'm so excited. Seriously,
Thank
this is
you. Yeah,
amazing. This is
I'm pretty
amazing
pumped.
because I mean, it's. I've been listening to the record. I was lucky enough to listen to the record beforehand, obviously, and
Hmm.
seriously, still, I can't pick a favorite. I can't. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
every single song, 12 songs. It's mind-blowingly good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
It's
I've been going. I got to listen to it in the car recently. I know this thing where I don't listen to my music for a long time because
yeah.
I'm just like I can't keep sitting in it because if I do, then I'm just gonna keep critiquing and over critiquing. So I'll step back and I turned it up real loud in the car and I was like, this is amazing. So I'm happy. I've been getting kind of the feedback from people, and I'm happy that cats kind of feel the same way I do, which is like I was trying to make a record that was going to cross genres, man. It was going to get people from other platforms to come into rock and roll just for a moment in time, just because I think we could use a little fresh breath of life in rock right now.
But how awkward is it when you listen to yourself in the car? And do you roll up the windows and be like, "This is my music, guys. This is my music."
Every now and again I do that. Every now and again I do that. And I stopped though because people started judging me, so I stopped. I was like, you guys, right here. You guys hear this guy? That's me. And they're like, who cares? F
Buy the
off. And I'm like,
record. It's out in two
oh.
days.
I got a record. I got a record coming out in a couple of days, you guys. Hit me up. Okay. Wherever
Sweet.
you are.
But on the record itself, you obviously sing, you play the guitar, and you told
Yeah.
me you play the bass on some
Yep.
songs. But
Yeah.
do you usually play with a band, like certain people that you surround yourself with?
Yeah, I have a three-piece rock band that I usually play with. That's kind of interchanged, throughout the years. But yeah, I have a three-piece crew. But in my mind, when I first started this thing, my project was called Ayron Jones in the Way, which was like kind of my nod, and paying homage to bands like Cream and the Experience, Jimi Hendrix and the Experience, and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, and so for me, like, it started out with that. I really admired that three-piece rock on the stage and how big cats, even bands like Nirvana, and how big that sound could be. And I kind of just always stuck with it. I mean, also, in kind of playing the bars and cycling the bar scene in Seattle, just you didn't want to have to split a bunch of money, $100 for a show. You don't want to split $100 like 5 different ways, So it's like you get in there with 3 cats and make it simple, but somehow that just created this really crazy sound, like this really interesting interpretation of rock and roll, which is kind of both simple and chaotic at the same time.
But
It's
on the
fun.
record, did you record with certain people, or was it like for the other instruments? Do you have like a go-to
Yeah.
person And Ronnie's like, you play the bass and you play the drums.
I did. I had a lot of that. There was a lot, man. I had different members that have been just band members throughout my career, from my first indie record to now. Mm-hmm. I flew in a buddy of mine who used to play with me back in the early 2013, and I had a bunch of different cats. So it's a bunch of different drummers and a bunch of different bass players, and because the sounds, like every song has a unique sound, and not everybody was going to be able to translate that. I got my main guy, Bob Lovelace, is my main bass player. He's a really kind of almost a lead bass player. He's like really rock heavy, So his sound, he hits hard, and his sound is really driving, So he sounds really great on these heavier, hard hitting songs. But if I want to play something more funky, it's going to be harder. I mean, playing with him is not going to, he's not going to really interpret funk that same way. So I'll go call the guy who plays the funk, I'll go call the dude who can slap at the bass, is what they say.
Wait. So it's great.
I mixed it up,
Yeah. And sometime when we're hopefully going to be able to see you live over here in Germany, do you have like a touring band already cast? Like, okay, you got to come with me, guys.
I've already got my cats. ready to go, man. So and like I said, that's the luxury of playing with a 3-piece band. It's like just me and 2 other dudes, so I don't have to really make it real complicated. When it's time to go, it's time to go. I will say this though, there is a level of preparation that has to go into it that we will certainly have to, put a lot of effort into. Just having sat on our asses for the last year and a half or whatever you want to call it, like, we really got to get in the room together and grind on it. But, as these shows are popping up, I think we're really going to start to meld and people really get a chance to see this sound. I mean, I think that this is probably one of the most unique live sounds, that most people will get a chance to see, and just in the way that we play, we really kind of conjure up that old school rock and roll feeling. And with a 3-piece band, it's like, it's me on the vocals, me on the guitar, the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar, and then I'm leading a band of people at the same time. So it's really fun to watch. And
because as you said, it's like old school rock and roll feeling. If you could choose the venues that you want to play, would you rather go for like a cool indie kind of underground jazz bar thing, or like an actual concert venue, like big one?
At this point, probably a concert venue. I do have an appreciation for like the broken down, more intimate shows, but I really, the concert, I've yet to experience a big concert. I've had a few really, really big shows, but like, it'd be nice to kind of sit in that place for a while. And I'll probably change my answer in a year or two. I'm like, oh yeah, it'd be great to get back to the jazz lounge, but but right now, it's like, that's kind of my focus right now, is getting back on those bigger stages.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's thirsty for live music, and especially with a lot of people dancing and having fun. And it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah. I think you told me that Killing Season was your favorite song on the record. Why is that?
Yeah. It's one of those songs. First of all, it's in drop D, so that's the first time I think most people will get a chance to hear me in alternate tuning. I mean, both those songs, so Mercy and Killing Season, are in really interesting tunings. But also, I get to display my vocals in a way I think cats haven't really had a chance to hear yet. If you followed me for a while, you probably don't realize it, like my vocal range. So I feel like that one really, the whole record really goes across the spectrum of my vocal range. But I think that song really hits that place, and in that song I'm trying to pay respect to Jimi. In that song I'm trying to pay respect to Chris Cornell, and really trying to conjure up a Seattle vibe, while still making it my own. And so I think that I got this opportunity to meet that challenge, and I think it came out really, really well. So that's part of why it's my favorite song. Or at least one of them. It's hard to pick one, but yeah.
Yeah, but when you talk about vocal range, I mean, Take Your Time, for example.
Yeah.
It's actually on my on repeat playlist on Spotify now, because I've been listening to it over and over again since Friday. It's like, oh my God, how often have I listened to this? Wow.
That's so cool.
And I think, especially by the end of the song, where you just, that scream out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
How was that in the studio? Like, how did that come together, basically?
It was the very last thing we did in the studio. Like to finish the record, that scream was like the last thing. And I was like, the first couple tries, I was like, oh my God. Oh, take two. I just knew it had to be perfect, and just needed something there to come out of that moment to really get people, change the tune of the song, but get people really just riled up, and excited about this moment in the song. So that's how it came about. I mean, and like the instances like that that's the first time cats really get a chance to hear me that way. I don't think people know that I have that high of a range. That and even if you're listening closely, you take your time too. There's and the harmonies in the chorus, I'm singing all the harmonies in the chorus, including there's like a really low bass harmony that I'm singing. So it's like, my range vocally goes from here to here. It stretches out. But I've always been kind of timid to show that. And so I'm glad to put that on record finally,
Yeah. And Take Me Away, though. I mean, seriously, this just always makes the cut for me. Take Me Away is like, it's been the first song I've heard from you, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, I still love that song. I was bumping that song yesterday, and I was like, damn, this is hard as hell. I love this song. It's so hard. It's just, it's mantric. You know what I mean? Like it's got kind of like this groove that just keeps coming back over and over again and just drives at you. That's what I love about that song. And also, that's one of the first instances. So I know a lot of people talk about Spinning Circles having like an orchestra in it. I don't know if people realize that there's an orchestra in Take Me Away as well. Coming in on the second half of the song, people don't realize that, but that's one of my favorite songs because of that. It melds these worlds together, in this really amazing way. Yeah.
And since you said you were kind of timid to show the world how good you actually are, same with the lyrics, though. Are you have you been for that record developing yourself, or like, okay, I got to put out more, I got to be more honest or whatever?
Yeah, I did. I mean, for sure. That was. I mean, this record really is my way of showing people who I really am as a person. I think I've known people for a long time, but when you go through something like the trauma that I think I faced in my life with my relationship with my mom and kind of all the stuff that came with that, I think it makes people embarrassed. And so for a long time, I think I was really embarrassed and I was really shy. When I was a little kid, I used to lie about it. Oh yeah, what did your mom do? My mom's a cop. What's your mom do? Like we were like, where? Like we never seen your mom around. So I would lie about it all the time. But this record for me, and even on the Seattle scene, like I've been in Seattle, doing it here for a long time, and I've had a name here for a minute, where I could walk down the street and cats recognize me. For a number of years before this record came out, and but I realized even then, like most people that know me on this scene know me on a very surface level. Like no one really knows me as a person. Nobody knows my background. I never talked about it, and so this record for me was really important to be vulnerable and real, and give people the opportunity to get to know Ayron Jones as the person.
And do you actually get messages by now saying like, I don't know you, but I feel like I know you?
Yeah. I got a really cool and freak came out about some cat had hit me up and he says he was saying that he had a ship and they got shipwrecked and then he was locked up in prison or something like that at some point, and he was falsely in prison and he got out, he got freed and cleared of all the charges, and he said Free was one of those songs that just like hit him in the chest and spoke to him, and I've got tons of messages like that all around, man. I mean, the amount of support that people have for this music and just knowing my story, just saying, yeah, I was abandoned and I was put in this situation. And then I get messages from people all around the world, man. Yeah, I was a foster kid too. I was in the system. This is what happened to me. I used to be really embarrassed about these things too, So I know that it's really getting to people, and I know that people really being able to relate to the message.
Yeah. And I'm sure once the record is out, you're gonna get a lot more of these messages. Yeah. Be prepared. Yeah. But Take Me Away, can you remember when and where you wrote it and in what kind of mood you were in?
Yeah, I remember where I wrote it. I wrote it right after I got off of this first really big indie tour back in like I want to say it was like 14 or 15. We had this really big tour. I came back and I had this groove stuck in my head the whole time. But also I was thinking to myself, like, I really want to make sure the sound is right. Like I want to make sure I was figuring out how to record records. So I remember getting into the demo studio, and the first thing I did was play this riff, and I stacked it up, and I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. It was the first time I'd stacked guitars on a record, right? Because I'm still figuring this out, by the way, right? So I'm stacking these guitars, I'm like, oh my God, and then I think that song hit so hard. So then I took it, and the song really first made an appearance on my second indie record, which was good, but it still didn't have the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't really have the sauce. It didn't have like the ball, so to speak. It didn't have the oomph, And so I I got back in the studio again, and this time, like, after having toured and done all these different really gargantuan things in my life, worked with all these different artists and all that, like, I hit this point where I was like, I knew exactly what I wanted to sound like, and I got in there, and we just ripped it up, man, and no holds barred, you know. Like, I think the first go around with Take Me Away kind of as a you know, as a song on my indie record, it was like, it sounded good, but it sounded like very cookie cutter, you know. It sounded like everything was just in its place, and I was like, that's not how I sound live. Live, I sound like I'm unhinged. Live, it sounds like there's a chaotic order to things, you know. And so we just turned the amplifiers up, man, let them scream, and just played the music, you know.
Can you remember who you played it first?
Yeah, a buddy of mine named Greg was the first person to hear it, and he was pretty blown away by it. And then I played it for Barrett Martin, and that's how it ended up on my second indie record. But I'll tell you this: the moment that I took it into the final time to really like make it sound the way I wanted to, I remember I got a phone call shortly after that, and I'm in tears at this point, you know, because like my management calls me and they say, hey man, like, you did it, you delivered. Like, if an artist, all an artist ever wants to hear is that you delivered. You did exactly what we thought you were going to do, and you didn't just deliver, you exceeded your expectations. And so I get that phone call, man. He goes, this is your moment, man. Like, we can use this. My everyday guy, my everyday manager, Michael, man, he had the song in his pocket for, I want to say it was for like 6 months. It was insane before he played it for his boss, you know. And then he played, the day he played it for his boss, I got that phone call, and I'm like trying to keep it together. I'm like, thanks guys. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. But he was like telling me all the things that he's basically saying, your dreams are about to come true. We're going to take this. We're going to be able to pitch this. And then honestly, in a matter of like 4 or 5 months, I ended up in the graces of Big Machine Barbados Records and John Barbados Records, and it was that was it. I mean, then we hit it with Take Me Away, and it became, you know, a number 5 single in the U.S., which was crazy to me for a song that I was self-written and composed. You know, it was insane. So I do remember that, and I remember the impact it had, and that's how we knew that we had to drop it as the first single, because if these cats who are at the top of the industry, who work with, you know, the industry's leading artists and musicians and producers and things, are their minds are blown. It's like, that's the song, that's the one, you know. So we put it out there, and sure enough, man, I'm still getting messages about Take Me Away. You know, I don't even know. You know, it's one of those songs that just hits, and it continues to. And the thing about it, it's like, my music is been growing kind of slowly because people don't really know me yet. I'm basically brand new to everybody in the world. But as the reputation has kind of, people gotten to know me, that song just keeps blowing up further and further and further. I think we're almost at like 1 million views or something like that for the video, which is crazy. That's my first million, will be my first million anything, to be honest. So I'm like, hey. Yeah.
Where's my first $1 million?
Yeah, where's the check? They're like, you got 1 million streams on Spotify. Here's $70.
Yeah, right.
No. You got 1 million streams. It's different, you know.
But that's my first million. Yay. But
Right,
how are you gonna?
it.
Yeah, I'll take it. How are you gonna celebrate on Friday then?
Man, I don't know. I haven't thought about it, man. I don't know. I realize I'm not throwing a party in Seattle because COVID's been a thing.
Yeah.
I'll probably announce it or something. I'll probably get on my deck and scream so people can look at me fucking crazy or something, you know. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I haven't thought about it, man. I know this is a huge moment in my life. I'm kind of just like overwhelmed with the thought of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to react to it. You know. I also am one of these people that, like, I'll take a moment to celebrate, but like, I know there's so much more work to do. So I'm just like, this is a moment that I'm going to take to really, you know, I'm going to pop a bottle, I'll drink, or probably smoke and hang out and be silly and belligerent and get yelled at, and then and then get back to work, man. So yeah, but I'm gonna, you know, I think my family members are coming over, my siblings. So I don't know if you know this, but I have, of course you don't. Why would you? But I have 15
It's just a
siblings.
second date, Ayron.
Right. I'm sorry. That's my bad. My bad. Why would you? Of course. I have like 15 siblings, and so I think my siblings are going to come out to my apartment and just going to hang out with me, man. And we're just going to celebrate a new story for our family. You know, I think it's really hard when you grow up in, you know, poor America, when you're growing up in poverty, like most of my family is. I mean, you know, we are definitely have been affected by the economic situations of America and how that pertains to race. You know, my family has been affected by that for sure. So to be the first person to make it out of that and to tell a new story for our family and create a new legacy and generational wealth and all the things that you know we've as a family and as a people have dreamt of, you know, since coming to this country. I think that it is we're taking a moment to celebrate that, you know.
That's so sweet. That's awesome. And also, I mean, like you said, because it's for your family, it's going to be a big thing. How important is Mercy then for you? Like,
just
song that basically.
You see, this is what happens with this music, though. It's super important to me, but it's like I'm not even really gonna know how important it is until like 3 months from now, when I'm like, oh crap, because like it's happening so fast, you know. So it's happening so fast. I mean, like Mercy actually climbed the charts faster than Take Me Away, and it is now it got to the top 5 faster. So I don't even really know, because people are just now catching up. I'm catching up to it. You know, it's the first week we're in the top 5 and we're already sitting at like 4 going on 3 or something like that. So, but it's important to me too, man. It's important to my story, especially because, like, you know, that is the first single. I mean, it's the first song that I've written on my record, that I have on my, you know, as a single on my album, and just like as a radio single that I worked on with other co-writers, you know, who are leading co-writers in the industry. So it was my first time working with those cats, and to be able to contribute and not just be a fly on the wall in the room, but to be able to sit with these people, you know, for the first time in my career, and already just know the language, know the process, and for us to be able to mutually speak that language together and come out with this product that's now, you know, top on the charts here. I mean, that's also a super blessing for me. So all of this is really reaffirming, you know, that I've been on the right track my whole life, and that I'm continuing to do great things, you know, and it's just up to me to really stay humble in that, and remember my purpose, which is to take this gift I've been given, you know, and give it to others, because those are the truest forms of gift. Those are the greatest gifts, are not the gifts that we can hold to ourselves, but the ones that we can share with others. So it's my purpose to continue to share that music with people, you know. Yeah,
and also since you said that thing about purpose and whatever, one line that really stuck with me for some reason, I don't know, is take your time, and I know it's hard to forget your past.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, it's a great line, but do you actually think like it's important for yourself and maybe your well-being or your mental health, whatever, to sometimes forget some things and to move on? And, yeah,
100%. I mean, the past has already happened. You know, that right now you're living this moment that's already in the past. Oh, there it goes. You know, there it goes again. Okay. And so, you're right. So, you know, human minds, we tend to dwell in the past, because like that's just kind of how our brains work. We're always like reacting off the last thing that happened, you know, and bringing that forth to the present. So I think it's so important for us to be able to let things go and forgive and move forward, man. We can't continue to stay stuck in the place we've been in our whole lives. You know, there has to be movement, you know. So I think it's so important, you know. And when I wrote that line, it's like, I know it's hard to get you pissed. But smile for the moment, I want to make this last, you know. Yeah, no, that's not what I say. That's the second line of the song.
No, that's
yeah. I said, I know it's hard to forget. Give me your heart. I'll be the best you ever had.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. I was thinking that the first time. I'm like, what the hell music is this? But yeah, give me your heart. I'll be the best you ever had. You know, and it's about letting go and moving forward into beauty, man. Trying to move forward into something in your life that's really, really positive and makes you feel good. And that was the whole purpose of that song, you know.
And you are in a good place, I guess, right now.
Yeah. Yes. I'm always in a good place. You know, it's funny. It's like I was talking to some interview yesterday, and they were like, "Yeah, how were you as a kid?" And, you know, with all the stuff I've gone through, I think people expect me to be like full of anger and rage and all these things, you know. And the truth is like my grandma used to call me Smiley, because I'm always smiling and laughing and goofing off, like to a flaw almost. Somebody be having a serious conversation with me. Look what you did, Ayron! You burned the house down. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's my bad. You know, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
But it's funny. It's it's usually like that. Mostly the people who've been through a lot just value the good things about life way more, and then you just kind of focus on that. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. Is you can't be inside and be sad all the time.
No, you can't, and you know that's easier said than done, and for a lot of people, just because you know different circumstances for different people. People have gone through a lot of different things in their life, and you know, and but the best thing that we could do is take care of each other's mental health and be there for each other, and you know, try to help each other out, and that's it, you know. And this is my way of helping people. This is my way of trying to bring some kind of light to you know, maybe some lives that have experienced darkness. It's my way of bringing some, you know, some happiness in people's lives. Just to, you know, I'm overjoyed. Like it's weird because, like, I think I've talked about this a little bit, where it's like, you know, because I didn't have parents to put that love into, I'm almost like deep down inside, maybe there's this darkness, you know, but like I'm always like projecting love out because I never really had a container for it, you know. So like my container has just been, it's been my music and the people around me, and I'm going to continue to push that out. It's like this never-ending push of just love and positivity, man. So I'm going to keep pushing that. And
I'm sure, or I'm very much hoping that you're going to be receiving all the love in 2 days when the record's out. And
me too, man. Me too. I hope so too.
Of course, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Ladies, if you need I'm on Snapchat. If you guys need to hit me up, you know what it is.
So you don't have to run around the streets anymore and be like, "That's my music. Listen, this is my music." with the billboard of yourself spinning.
Just me doing this.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. No, and then we're gonna see you in Germany. So,
oh yeah, there are already conversations about that. I think that's probably gonna happen sooner than later. I mean, hopefully everything opens up for you guys. I'm not really sure what your COVID status is right now. We're getting pretty close. I think even the state I'm in is going to be fully opened on June 30th. So hopefully you cats are on the same path, you know. So we're getting it here, man. So we're starting to make it happen, and hopefully everyone get vaccinated. Even the anti-vaxxers get vaccinated. I hate the vaccine. Get it? You know, oh, it's a trick. Yes, it is. Get it.
Get it.
Yeah, just get it, man.
Everything from me. Okay, sorry. But yeah, but once we open up, I can't wait to see you in a great concert venue with a lot of people, a lot of beer, and a lot of fun, and a great 3-piece rock and roll band.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait. I am more excited to play music, I think, than anything, for people at least. And I've been in the studio it's a different process, grinding and, you know, laying palettes of sound and ear candy and all that. That's one thing. It's another thing to get out there and just rock it out, man. No holds barred.
But you got to rock it out with your family. All of your people. Do you actually play for your family?
Yeah, I play for them every now and again. They play for me, most of them. My kids are always grabbing my guitars and stuff and jamming on my stuff, and you know, and they're always like, you know, stomping their feet and screaming and hollering and all the good stuff, you know. So yeah, I do. And we get a chance to jam out here. My daughter is she's into music, but she's more into visual art. So she's an amazing visual artist. And then my 2 sons are just crazy. They're out of it. They just like to grab guitars and go. That's it.
Sweet. Okay, a family reunion party. Or whatever, sometime in the future.
Oh yeah. Maybe not this first one. I'm probably gonna lose my mind on this first one, but but after this one, after I partied. After a pandemic and gone on the road and then partied and lost my mind a little bit and then came back, and then they can come on the next one. You see what I'm saying? Let me get it out of me for a second first.
Well, you gotta have plans for the future, right?
You sure do.
Last question, Ayron. What is your biggest wish for the foreseeable future now?
The foreseeable future, my biggest wish. My wish is to play a show for you. That's my biggest wish right this moment is to be in Germany. We'll play a show and drink some beers. No, I'm kidding. My biggest wish, man. My biggest wish right now. I hope that my music is able to elevate the consciousness of the people that listen to it. And that's my biggest hope, because I think that's important for us as a species, is to continue to evolve our consciousness and to evolve past these hardships and the strife and tribulations that we have created for ourselves. You know, that's my biggest wish. If my music can be a catalyst or a conversation piece for that, then that would make me happier than anything. You know, and that's it. I just want people to feel good, man.
Amen. I'm not religious, but that's just always a good last word.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I'm just saying amen.
Whatever.
You just gotta know. You gotta know. You know what they say in the Baptist church here in America. God is good all the time. You gotta say all the time every time somebody says God is good, or you just say all the time. Your poor face. No, what you so sad about it? Or just say all the time, no matter what. All the time. All the time.
Okay. All the time, no matter what. In a Southern accent, all the
God
time.
is good.
Yes, get
God
some
is good.
sweet tea.
God is good. Y'all want some sweet tea?
Y'all want some sweet tea?
I'm not very good at it, man. I'm from the mountains. I don't talk like that. You know?
Thank you.